for another Football Friday night. Welcome to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Schuckman, coming to you from the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio in downtown Quincy. It's week 3 of the prep football season, and it's been a wild week leading up to this just because of everything else going on in the news and in the world. But on Friday nights, we always know we can come back to football, and it's a beautiful thing. And it was quite a night. We've seen some blowouts. We've seen some really impressive victories, some big-time performances. And we got a lot to get to as the night rolls on. We're here for the next 2 hours live with you on Facebook, on YouTube, on Muddy River TV. So we hope you're joining us. If you can't be with us tonight, check us out tomorrow or whenever after the show. We archive all of our shows. You can go back and watch week 1 and week 2, and now week 3 once we're done with tonight. Lots to get to tonight, though. We will have in-studio guests. Quincy University coach Jason Kilday is going to join us, talk a little bit about the recruiting scene and how Friday nights work for the college football coaches, and give you a little perspective on that. Quincy High School defensive coordinator Eric Gower is going to join us in studio in hour number 2. Tom Little, Brown County coach, coming off their first victory, will join us on the United Systems hotline. Macomb coach Tanner Horrell is also going to join us on the United Systems hotline. Bombers improved to 3-0. And then we'll have other guests come in. We had reporters at several games tonight, so we'll have plenty of stuff for you on muddyriversports.com as we get through going and get through tonight and get all of our work done. We had photographers at several places, so plenty to look forward to. Make sure you check us out at muddyriversports.com. We'll have scoreboards up later. We'll have our Starry Star of the Night brought to you by Refreshment Services Pepsi. We'll pick that in hour number 2. A lot of interesting candidates, too. A lot of big-time performances. So stick around. You're going to want to find out who the Starry Star of the Night is. But let's get going right off the bat. Let's get you updated on the scores, break down what has happened tonight so far. All the games are in. We've only had a couple little delays. We had some weather tonight. Little surprising. I wasn't expecting some rain to fall. I know in other parts of Illinois and other parts of Missouri, they actually had some lengthy delays because of some lightning. We didn't have any of that here. We just had more drizzle and that in this area. So no delays, no worries. Everybody's games are in. So let's get to the scoreboard. The Schottenkirk Toyota scoreboard. I almost forgot the sponsor. They would have been upset with me. Can't do that. Can't forget the sponsor. But let's get going with the Week 3 Schottenkirk Toyota scoreboard. Quincy High School opens Western Big 6 Conference play with a 48-7 victory over Rock Island. The Rocks, 1 first down through 3 quarters. That's how good the Quincy High School defense was tonight. And again, Eric Gower will be joining us in hour number 2 to talk about that. Quincy Notre Dame opens its first season as a member of the Central State 8 Conference with a 43-0 victory over Springfield Southeast at Advanced Physical Therapy Field. We'll talk more about that. A record-setting night for one of their players. We'll get into that later as well. Troy Buchanan knocks off Hannibal 35-29. Camp Point Central, coming off its loss to Calhoun last week, gets back in the win column. 41-0 in its WIVC North opener against Beardstown. 2 0-2 teams going head-to-head in Mount Sterling tonight. Brown County, which had only allowed 16 points in its first 2 games, pitches a shutout tonight. Beats Unity Payson 32-0. Big win for the Hornets. Tom Little will be joining us here shortly to talk about that win. In a big game on the Missouri side of the river tonight in the Clarence Cannon Conference opener, state-ranked South Shelby beats Monroe City 44-22. The Cardinals are just rolling right now. They are putting up some big numbers. First time an opponent this year, 3 games, mind you, has not allowed the Cardinals to score 60, but they still scored 44. That's pretty good. As we get going with other scores, Macomb beats Illini West in the Prairie Land, the Lincoln Trail Prairie Land. There's a lot of names to that conference. Macomb 21-6 over Illini West. The Bombers are 3-0. Elmwood Brimfield beats West Hancock 57-20. Stanford Olympia knocks off Pittsfield 43-34. I have a mistake on our scoreboard. We will fix that. A little typo there, but we will get that adjusted in our next break. Greenfield Northwestern beats Pleasant Hill 32-0. Palmyra 56 tonight. 56-14 victory over Macon. Landon Carroll, 4 rushing touchdowns. I think Wyatt Augsburg had 3. They had 427 yards of rushing offense tonight. Every yard they picked up tonight was on the ground. Brookfield beats Highland 62-0. Winfield over Mark Twain, 25-6. Those are our area scores tonight. And as you can see, we had a lot of teams score a lot of points tonight. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of our area teams scored 40 or more. That's pretty impressive on any given night. And some really good defensive efforts. Think about this. The 2 Quincy schools combined to score 91 points and only allowed 7, and both in their conference openers. So an interesting way good way for the Blue Devils to start their title defense in the Western Big Six Conference, and a really good way for Quincy Notre Dame to introduce itself to the Central State 8 Conference. Hannibal will get into conference play next week when it jumps into the North Central Missouri Conference fray. Coming off 3 tough games to start the season. That Troy Buchanan game, we expected it to be a barn burner, 35-29. The Pirates fall there. The WIVC North, we know how good Camp Point Central is. I'm shocked that Brown County is now sitting at 1-2, just how good they've been defensively. Tonight you saw their offense come to life, but a really good effort from the Hornets. And what's interesting about that is their defense has just been nails. You look at what their first 2 opponents have done to other opponents in Greenfield Northwestern and Winchester West Central. They've been able to score on everybody else. They haven't been able to pile up points on the Hornets. So that'll be really interesting to see if can Brown County get on a roll offensively, build some momentum off this victory, and win 4 more or 5 more games over the next 6 weeks to get itself in the playoffs. It's got victory number 1. Got to get to 5 to get in the playoffs. So it'll be real interesting to see how that plays out. Again, the South Shelby juggernaut just continues to roll. I don't know if there's a Clarence Cannon Conference team that'll beat them this year. Centralia is the one big dog, I think, sitting out there. We saw Brookfield, no longer a Clarence Cannon Conference team, put up 62 tonight. South Shelby won't run into them in conference play. And Palmyra's look good offensively. The fact that they can really run the ball is a big deal. You know, they don't have to throw the ball. They're ground and pound right now. With a really good offensive line and a variety of backs. So, you know, Landon Carroll, Wyatt Augsburg, Ryland Compton doing a nice job at quarterback. So it's good to see. We're going to hopefully talk to Dalton Hill as the night wears on. Try to get him on the United Systems hotline. Pittsfield, great effort against Stanford Olympia. Stanford Olympia team it has never beaten. So a really good effort by Pittsfield. Pittsfield's right there. They're on the cusp. They battled Jacksonville week 1. We saw Jacksonville led Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin at 10-7 at halftime tonight in its Central State 8 opener. Really interesting there. Sacred Heart Griffin went on to win 35-10. We will have, as the night rolls on, Western Big Six Conference scores and Central State 8 Conference scores. We'll also try to find some other scores throughout Illinois and Missouri that might interest you and drop those in as we go along. But we do want to update you on the conferences. Since this is the opening night of conference play for many of our schools, we want to keep you updated on that. Macomb 3-0. Tanner Horrell doing a great job with that program. Just an hour away from here. You know, they went undefeated in the regular season 2 years ago. Had some footing, found their footing last year with a very young lineup, and it's showing now. Their ability to run the footballs is a big key, and defensively they're pretty stout. Drake May, remember that name, Drake May. One of the best linebackers in this area and in this part of the state. Keep your eye on him, and he's only a sophomore, people. So remember that. Drake May's the name to watch for as we go along. Tayen Scott's another name, and we'll get more into that. Quincy Notre Dame linebacker. Record-setting night for him, so we have more to talk about with that. But there's your Schottenkirk Toyota scoreboard for week 3. We got plenty to get to. We're going to jump into the United Systems hotline when we come back. We're going to get coaches on the phone. We're going to start talking football. Brown County Coach Tom Little will join us when we come back. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
As a new hunting season begins, we observe a species most rare, the hunter incompetus. The hunting ritual begins. Already he stakes his claim by bringing a duck call to a deer hunt. Disaster strikes. A devastating blow to a long-suffering species. There may be no helping the hunter incompetus, but for everyone else, no other place has it all like Farm and Home Supply.
Tell my mom to pick me up soon.
Hey, grab me one too.
So what separates us most from all the other dealerships is the Toyota brand itself.
Once they buy a Toyota, they never buy anything else. #1 vehicle on the market, the best sedan on the market, some of the best reliable trucks on the market. And our main goal here is to try and get our customers the best payment possible.
We know the process and we pass that along to you.
We're simply looking to buy vehicles off the street.
And we want all makes and models of vehicles.
And you don't even have to buy anything in return. We'll just simply purchase it from you.
We can purchase a vehicle in 10 or 15 minutes or less.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
The Smart Start Transfer Career Academy lets you get your associate's degree early, starting in high school.
I graduated my associate's degree on Friday, 2 days before I graduated high school on Sunday.
It allowed me to get way, way ahead.
Having my prerequisites done is going to help me a lot, as I will get to start a year earlier than I would have without it.
It's really easy to make good connections with people that actually care about you. They helped me plan things out in a way that I definitely wouldn't have been able to do on my own. It made it really easy for me.
If you've been in a motor vehicle accident, contact McCleary Law.
There was nowhere to go. We were on a bridge.
All of a sudden, a guy started going over in our lane and hit his head on.
I couldn't even breathe. It was just unbelievable that it even happened.
We needed to get a hold of an attorney, and our first thoughts was to get a hold of Dan McCleary. Everything's pretty easy when you deal with Dan.
He got us way more than we expected to get.
We don't charge anything until we win your case. Call McCleary Law.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman, coming to you from the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio in downtown Quincy. We have a special guest in the studio. We'll get to him in our next segment. He's just going to hang out and listen and soak in some of this, because we got a winner on the phone line on the United Systems hotline waiting to talk to us. A guy that's been around for a while, piled up a lot of victories, and a really important one tonight. Brown County coach Tom Little joining us now. Coach, how are you?
Doing good, doing really good. Good to get that first win.
Hey, how was that for an intro? Did that work okay?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, it's better than what I was getting in the other room with all the coaches. So yeah, it was nice that you were nice to me. So,
well, they should be nice to you tonight. You guys got a victory.
Yeah, it was a night. We've had a couple tough weeks. Oh man, our defense has been playing outstanding, and we just got points on the board. And tonight, defense came out again and played, outstanding. I think, I don't know, it was a crazy stat, like negative yards rushing, 95 yards passing. I think is what one of the coaches, the stats were, So defense played, but, offensively, we finally were able to just kind of prove and get some guys some carries. And you can see some stuff happening for us tonight. A lot of confidence was starting to get gained. And, it's been a tough 2 weeks, but, it was good to get our victory.
Well, it was nice to be able to kind of check you guys out. We were able to watch on YouTube on the BC Hornet Sports with Steve Surratt and the guys. And the thing that I picked up on offensively was your ability to run between the tackles. That kind of set you apart as that game wore on, didn't it?
Yeah, we've got some really good running backs, but I think Trey Fullerton, he's a great fullback. He's always leaning forward. He's always getting the push. He's tough. And you wear some guys down, and then you mix it up with Kanye Mitchell at speed, and Matt Boylan, who's super athletic, and then also the edges get open, for a big run by Fullerton, or a big run from Tanner Sides, and we've got a lot of names of those kids, and they're finally starting to figure it out. Tonight looked really good, and like we started to see it, but tonight was a really good night for that group.
We're talking with Brown County coach Tom Little on the United Systems hotline. Coach, once you got one touchdown, okay, great, we got a touchdown. But once you got 2 and then 3, could you feel your guys just like maybe exhale a little bit and like, hey, we can get into the end zone multiple times?
Yeah, I think it's crazy to sound the monkey on their back, because they really like, man, we could score in that week 1 game. We had some opportunities, and some guys just barely caught us. A heel clip there, a little nudge here that somebody went out of bounds on, and they were close. And, then last week it just didn't seem like we hit it. We didn't hit anything. Tonight when we go into halftime, it's like an 8-0 ball game. You could just see the kids there, and Jack Sefton returned that kickoff, and he's an electric sophomore. He can really do special things with the ball in his hand. He's still learning the game, and he's still doing young mistakes, but just his vision is tremendous. And, that return got the defense back on the field, and then it got the offense, and now we can really play our game. Feeling like we've got to make plays, we can just play our game. And that credit goes to, that kickoff and their defense and how well they came out in that second half.
You got the shutout tonight, 32-0 victory over Unity Payson. Only had allowed 16 points in the first 2 weeks. What has made this defense so good through 3 weeks?
I think, we've got a great coordinator in Jared Hoots, and, you add, Heath Fullerton, we add a Lyle Klein, Eric Grady, who was a, really good coordinator for us, early in his career.
Yep.
You've got some really defensive-minded guys out there that can work together. They're like-minded. And they can suggest things, and no one takes offense, that, hey, do this. And, it's not like, I can't believe you said that. It's like, hey, we're trying to make us better. And, they're fun to be around. They're a fun group of guys. And like I said, Lyle has done a really good job of bringing some stuff with his playoff experience and championship experience, to kind of another twist. So defensively, they're doing some really good stuff. We just have to continue with special teams and, get that offense up to par.
Homecoming night tonight. You're also celebrating the 75th season of Brown County football. Kind of had to win tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, we felt numerous reasons. There's tons of reasons we got to win tonight. The first one, we had a good group of guys coming out. It's really cool when you hit an anniversary. And so, 75 years of Brown County football, playing in the same field, that those guys in the 1950s were playing on. And, it's really neat. The school's now done a Hall of Fame, and to see some of those old guys and listen to their stories and do stuff. The game of high school football is special, to so many different people, and every community is that way. I think in Brown County, these guys take pride in. We've always been the Hornets. We've always been here. We're playing on the same field that these guys played in, and the field really doesn't look a lot different than it did there. Just a little nicer. With grass and little things there, but it's the same thing. And we try to stress that to the kids. There's a lot of pride on this field. There's a lot of great things here, and the guys standing outside this remember being you. They remember these moments and the energy they brought. And it's just a special place. We're really happy to be here and just to see it. Hopefully there's another 25 years I come back and they're celebrating the 100th. And as Brown County Hornets on the same place, that'd be a really cool moment.
That would be. Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. I know you want to get in the other room and celebrate with your coaches, and just remind Jared Hoots, as good of a defensive coordinator as he is, we got another Winchester guy joining us here shortly, in Jason Kilday. So pretty good lines coming from that little town over there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Some really good football minds coming from that little spot in Illinois. So no, we're happy to be a part of what you guys are doing. We appreciate everything you guys are doing. This is really really cool idea doing this, and hopefully everybody gets to enjoy it every Friday night.
Thanks, man. Go enjoy, and we'll catch up with you soon.
I appreciate it, Matt.
Thanks. That was Brown County coach Tom Little joining us on the United Systems hotline. The Hornets, homecoming night, celebrating 75 seasons of Brown County football. Had a lot of alums back on that, and they pick up a 32-0 victory over Unity Payson in the WIVC North opener. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll run through the scores one more time, and then we're going to talk to Quincy University coach Jason Kilday about Friday nights in Illinois and what it's like. He grew up playing in Illinois. Him and his coaching staff are out now recruiting on Friday nights in Illinois, so we're going to talk about some of that. Stay with us. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
So what separates us most from all the other dealerships It's the Toyota brand itself.
Once they buy a Toyota, they never buy anything else. #1 vehicle on the market, the best sedan on the market, some of the best reliable trucks on the market. And our main goal here is to try and get our customers the best payment possible.
We know the process and we pass that along to you.
We're simply looking to buy vehicles off the street.
And we want all makes and models of vehicles.
And you don't even have to buy anything in return. We'll just simply purchase it from you.
We can purchase a vehicle in 10 or 15 minutes or less.
Since 1929, we've been here to serve our communities with the best products and the best service. You are the reason we go to work every day, and we thank you for that. After all, we live where you do.
Muddy Night Lights is also brought to you by Town & Country Inn and Nationwide Transportation.
The Smart Start Transfer Career Academy lets you get your associate's degree early, starting in high school.
I graduated my associate's degree on Friday, 2 days before I graduated high school on Sunday.
It allowed me to get way, way ahead.
Having my prerequisites done is going to help me a lot, as I will get to start a year earlier than I would have without it.
It's really easy to make good connections with people that actually care about you. They helped me plan things out in a way that I definitely wouldn't have been able to do on my own. It made it really easy for me.
I love to shop online, and one thing I'm not going to screw up is a piece of jewelry that I'm going to wear for the rest of my life.
And it's as simple as just being able to see it. Like, just being able to actually physically hold it and see it, that's different than like, oh, look, I'm on the internet. Like, let me just, that looks nice, I think.
Trying on rings and seeing different sizes and the different colors, and I just want to be able to touch and feel it and have the experience. Having the experience is going to be more important to me than just adding something to a cart and clicking buy now.
There are 3 things that she's going to get asked. How did he propose? How big's the diamond? And where did he get it?
I'm proud to tell my friends that, this is where I got my ring.
I don't know. It just seems like it's kind of a no-brainer.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. Big night of high school football. We're going to run through the scores real quick before we jump back into the interviews. Your Week 3 scoreboard presented by Schottenkirk Toyota. Quincy High School with a 48-7 victory over Rock Island, kicking off Western Big Six Conference play. Quincy Notre Dame 43-0 over Springfield Southeast. Troy Buchanan 35-29 over Hannibal. Camp Point Central 41-0 over Beardstown. Brown County a 32-0 victory over Unity Payson. South Shelby beats Monroe City 44-22 in a Clarence Canyon Conference showdown. Macomb over Illini West 21-6. Elmwood Brimfield 57-20 over West Hancock. Stanford Olympia beats Pittsfield 43-34. Greenfield Northwestern shuts out Pleasant Hill 32-0. Palmyra puts up 56 points in a 56-14 victory over Macon. Brookfield 62-0 over Highland. Winfield 25, Mark Twain 6. Those are your area scores from this Friday night. We will get to some Western Big Six Conference scores and some Central State 8 Conference scores involving both Quincy High School and Quincy Notre Dame as we roll along. But right now, we're in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio, and I got a special guest hanging out with us tonight. Very special, right, Jason Kilday?
Exactly.
Depends on how you define special.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of ways.
But you're 1-0 as the Quincy University head football coach. Congratulations.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Good start to the year for the Hawks, right?
Yep, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Better than the other way.
Yeah, well, and you're able to join us tonight because you guys got a bye week this week.
Yep.
What does that do, before we jump into talk about the recruiting aspect and some high school football tidbits, what is this weekend like for your guys, not having a game?
Yep, we went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at practice, and then Friday and Saturday we'll be off, and then we'll get it cranked back up on Sunday.
Yeah, so Sunday starts game week.
Yep.
So you're on the road next Saturday at Missouri S&T.
Yep.
Coming off a victory over Lincoln, good week for the guys? Or did you feel some of the energy and momentum that comes with a victory?
We did. More importantly, I've kind of said it a few times of now we have a little bit to coach off of and kind of explain, okay, this is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yep.
And then they see some success or, they see a little bit of failure in what they're doing and why they need to change. And kind of pay attention to the details of what we're asking them to do.
Because you have a week off, because of the bye week, it allows you on a Friday night to not have to rush around, not to be worrying about travel plans or getting up early on Saturday to get to the stadium and get everything ready. Does that allow you to get out to a high school game and do some recruiting or at least just do some observing?
Yeah, no, I went out to the Quincy High game tonight.
Yeah.
Was able to take that in for a little bit for the first half, and I've been able to make it. I made the QND QHS game.
Okay.
Because we played Thursday night at Drake, so
Right.
Friday night, and then last week I made it out to the Quincy High game for a quarter, the second quarter.
Yeah.
So it's been good. It's been a good schedule for us, and luckily teams have been in town.
Do you send your coaching staff and your guys out to different schools on a Friday night, or do you allow them, okay, we got to worry about Saturday, so just worry about Saturday?
No, it's kind of, if they want to go out, great,
Okay.
but it's not something I'm going to ask them to do. We spend enough time working.
Yeah.
And the way with, recruiting's changed so much with Twitter and Huddle, you can see the highlights pretty quick. So Friday nights are kind of, hey, go be with your families, put your feet up for a little bit and relax.
If you do go to a game, are you looking for anything specific when you head out to, whether it's Notre Dame, Quincy High, Camp Point Central, whatever, wherever? Are you looking for something specific of the guys you're interested in, or are you looking at, hey, I'm just going to come out here and hang out and see how it goes?
Very rarely am I, you're watching them play, obviously, but you obviously know who can play and who can't by this point.
Right.
So I'm looking more, for me, intangibles, how are they on and off the field?
Yeah.
Do they have their helmet on? Are they jogging on and off the yard? How are they receptive to coaches? How are they handling officials? Those kind of things, as opposed to the actual play on the yard. That's a piece of it, and then
right.
The other piece is the intangibles.
Well, I think that often gets overlooked. I think a lot of parents, a lot of players think, hey, if I go out and rush for 120 yards with him in attendance, I've done my job, or I've impressed him, or I go out and catch 6 passes for 120 yards or whatever. But if you throw your helmet on the sideline or you bark at your quarterback because he looked away from you and threw it to somebody else, well, coaches see that stuff, don't they?
No, it just shows how good of a teammate you are.
Yeah.
And again, if you're coachable or not, those are big pieces.
And you're always knowing what's going on, because face it, when you're at a game, whether it's as a fan or as representing Quincy University, you got to be thinking that way, because you got to know who's coming into your program.
Correct. No, it's you recruit your own problems sometimes. So if you know kind of what the issues are a little bit ahead of time, you can kind of head those off. But if you're blindsided by it, it becomes an issue.
Well, we're going to take a break real quick. You going to stick around for one more segment and talk a little more football?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Quincy University coach Jason Kilday in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio. We're going to take a break, pay some bills. When we come back, we'll run through the scores one more time, and then we'll talk more football, because one of his buddies got a milestone win tonight. We're going to talk about that here on Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Looking for a new hangout or a place to eat? Gabe welcomes you to the Silver Dollar. Delicious menu options, daily lunch and drink specials, and 6 gambling machines. Come hang out on the patio with friends at the Silver Dollar, 7403 Broadway. Gaming and grill up on the hill. Silver Dollar.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Your policy's updated.
Because we know your house is where their dreams begin.
Impressive.
Thanks, Caleb. And our agents are here to help you feel protected, so your family can pursue their dreams. Bundle life and save up to 25% on home and auto. American Family Insurance.
Neiman's, your neighborhood market.
Whether you're going to a local football game, you're really hungry, or you just want to find some fall clothes on the cheap, we have a tailgating sale at your local Farm and Home Supply this weekend, starting with $50 off this portable griddle or $100 off this electric smoker. Then for $2.99, take your pick between kitchen cooked chips or 24-pack bottled water. Plus, take 20% off the new Meat Church barbecue seasonings. Plus, we got hoodies for the whole family. Save 25% off all Under Armour sweatshirts. Then, where else can you get jeans for under $10? Save big on our most popular full blue brand. And we have 30% off all caps and CC beanies.
Hey, grab me one too.
Monday Night Lights is also brought to you by Town & Country Inn, Nationwide Transportation.
Looking for a new hangout or a place to eat? Gabe welcomes you to the Silver Dollar. Delicious menu options, daily lunch and drink specials, and 6 gambling machines. Come hang out on the patio with friends at the Silver Dollar, 7403 Broadway. Gaming and grill up on the hill. Silver Dollar.
For 125 years, Hollister Whitney has designed and manufactured solutions for the vertical transportation industry right here in Quincy, Illinois. Now you have the chance to be a vital part of this quality-driven, family-oriented team. We have salaried and hourly positions available, both with excellent benefits and very competitive wages. Cutting-edge technology, a dynamic, engaging, and flexible work environment, the opportunity to achieve your full potential. Elevate your career to the next level at Hollister Whitney.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman. Thanks for hanging out with us on your Friday night. Lots still to talk about over the next 90 minutes. It's been a great first 30 minutes. Let's run through the scoreboard, the Schottenkirk Toyota scoreboard. I'm going to get it right one of these weeks where I get them all right. All the sponsors. Trust me. Quincy High School, 48-7 over Rock Island. Quincy Notre Dame, 43-0 over Springfield Southeast. Troy Buchanan, a 35-29 win over Hannibal. Camp Point Central, 41-0 over Beardstown. Brown County, 32-0 over Unity Payson. South Shelby, 44-22 over Monroe City. Macomb beats Illini West, 21-6. Elmwood Brimfield, 57-20 over West Hancock. Stanford Olympia, 43-34 over Pittsfield. Greenfield Northwestern beats Pleasant Hill, 32-0. Palmyra hangs 56 on Macon with a 56-14 victory. Brookfield, 62-0 over Highland. And Winfield, 25-6 over Mark Twain. That's your area scoreboard for Week 3, brought to you by Schottenkirk Toyota. And we're back here in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio, hanging out on the couches with Quincy University coach Jason Kilday. Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, no problem.
So we're in the midst of Week 3 of high school football. Yep. You played football in Illinois, grew up in Winchester. Yep. What does Football Friday Night mean to you when you think back as a high school kid and now as a college coach? When you think of Football Friday Night?
It's a great question. It's been a minute since you thought of it.
Yeah.
But even playing in it, and then it shuts down. Even Winchester. I mean, we weren't very good, but the town still shuts down.
Yeah.
And everybody comes out.
Right.
It's an event. It's for it's a special time. Especially it's a short time. 9 weeks for the high school, and then
Right.
if you happen to make the playoffs and then you make a little run, it becomes pretty exciting. So between playing it and then coaching in high school,
Right.
it's a special time. It's pretty cool how all communities are all kind of the same, in terms of how everybody shuts down and supports it.
Yeah. One of your Winchester guys, we mentioned him earlier, Jared Hoots, the Brown County defensive coordinator, really good baseball coach at Brown County, really good football coach. I mean, their defense is nails this year, but another Winchester guy. For when you see another guy that grew up in your same hometown, in your same area, doing what you're doing, what you love to do at another school and having success, how cool is that for you?
It's awesome. And Hootie, even back in the day, I mean, we used to play each other in NCAA football, and we'd go back and forth, and have some battles doing it. But he was a heck of a player, and he's a heck of a coach. I know that. So.
Yeah. Well, another guy that you're pretty familiar with, that head coach over at Rochester, a guy named Derek Leonard.
Yeah.
He's, he's got a few rings.
Yeah,
and
nine of them. Yeah.
9 of them. But hit a milestone tonight in Rochester's victory. 200th career victory.
Yep.
That's a lot of wins.
It's a lot of wins. He keeps finding ways to win. They lost their quarterback last week, and he just keeps stacking wins. And
yeah, they scored 62 tonight.
Yeah.
Without their number one quarterback.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
He finds ways, man. It's wild.
Is it now? I mean, obviously you coached under his dad. You were on the SHG staff at one point in time under the legend Ken Leonard. Your relationship with that family and having learned some stuff from them, do you use that at the college level?
Yeah, no, it's that was one thing Ken always said early, was just because nobody's done it doesn't mean you can't try. Why not try it? Let's just see what happens. And obviously that empowers you early as a young coach. And imprints you a little bit of, hey, just because no one's doing it doesn't mean you can't do it. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. And he challenged you to think outside the box. That was always the fun part. So.
Pretty good guy too.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. He's a great guy to work for, and again, he challenged you, but he did it in such a way you didn't even know you were being challenged.
But you saw that with, he and Derek both came over to one of your practices this fall. The relationships built through football last beyond those 9 weeks.
No, you spend so much time together, you have no choice but to become close.
Yeah.
It's Derek and I were college roommates, but then I worked for Ken for 4 years, and each of those years, we went 14 games. The first year, 11 the next, and then back-to-back 14-0 season. So, wow. I mean, there's so much time, and then spring, summer, it just adds up that you're around each other. You become a family just because of the amount of time you are together. Well,
and football is a great way to teach kids how to be part of a family.
Yep. Well, everybody's different. There's so many people, and there's so many different stories. On a football team, like even our roster here at QU, it's 130 people.
Right.
And then you add 10 coaches into it, and then their families into it. It's a big perspective of a small slice of life, as you say.
Oh, well, trust me. Last weekend on your sideline, I heard and got to know many different personalities of your red shirts.
Yeah.
Because they all hung out with me at the end of at the south end, and it was an interesting conversation that went on.
Yeah, it's a lot of different aspects of life happening right there.
Well, I know you've got things to do. I know you got a big weekend to just prepare for next week and get ready to go on the road. Since you really didn't get to play a full game on the road week one.
Yep.
Missouri S&T next Saturday.
Yep.
Should be fun.
6 o'clock kickoff with GLVC opponents, so it'll be fun.
I look forward to watching. I'm not going to make the trip with you, but I'll be watching from here, and you and I will talk afterward. And
yep.
Really appreciate you taking time to come in on a Friday night. And
thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Quincy University coach Jason Kilday taking the time to join us in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio. The Hawks off to a 1-0 start. And again, high school football means a lot. And even for the college players, the college coaches, Friday night football still means a ton. And it was cool to get his perspective on things. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to try to get Macomb coach Tanner Horrell on the United Systems hotline, talk about their 3-0 start and their victory tonight. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Sometimes life throws bold moments at you, like finding the perfect vacation or finding the ideal location. At BOS, we're there to help you meet those moments with bold confidence. So whether it's managing money for future plans or getting what you need to start planning your dream, we're here to bring you a better banking experience. Make the bold move and switch to BOS today.
Looking for a new hangout or a place to eat? Gabe welcomes you to the Silver Dollar. Delicious menu options, daily lunch and drink specials, and 6 gambling machines. Come hang out on the patio with friends at the Silver Dollar, 7403 Broadway. Gaming and grill up on the hill. Silver Dollar.
Hi, I'm Rory O'Donnell with the O'Donnell Cooks and Life Celebration Home. As a Quincy University alum, I understand the impact a local business has on area athletics. That is why the O'Donnell Cooks and Life Celebration Home takes pride in supporting local athletic teams. We want to wish all of our area teams the best of luck this season. The O'Donnell Cooks and Life Celebration Home of Quincy, supporting local athletics for 5 generations.
Looking for a new hangout or a place to eat? Gabe welcomes you to the Silver Dollar. Delicious menu options, daily lunch and drink specials, and 6 gambling machines. Come hang out on the patio with friends at the Silver Dollar, 7403 Broadway. Gaming and grill up on the hill. Silver Dollar.
We believe that accessing care close to home is better for you and better for your family. For 120 years, Hannibal Regional has been committed to providing community-based, contemporary health care. From state-of-the-art surgical care to innovative cancer care, and now life-saving open-heart surgery. We are dedicated to expanding access to exceptional care in each of the communities we serve. Hannibal Regional, why go anywhere else?
Motor vehicle accidents are traumatic situations, and oftentimes they can result in very significant and permanent injuries. In Steve and Paula's case, they were hit by a drunk driver on the bridge. They realized very quickly that it was a significant accident and that they deserved to be reasonably compensated. Now, having worked for the insurance companies for several years, I know how to best present your case. If you've been in a motor vehicle accident, call McCleary Law.
From your trash to your recycling, you're doing your part. You can trust us to do ours. We're a team of people working hard for you, turning problems into solutions and waste into possibilities. We're Republic Services. We haul it, we recycle it, we convert it, we even electrify it. We work where you work. We live where you live. We are Republic Services.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman, hanging out in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio in downtown Quincy. Really enjoyed the conversation with Quincy University coach Jason Kilday, his perspective on recruiting and on Friday nights and high school football. That was a great. I really appreciate him coming in. We've had a good conversation with Tom Little off the Brown County victory, and we're going back to the United Systems hotline right now to talk to another coach who's off to a 3-0 start with his crew, and that's Macomb's Tanner Horrell. Coach, how are you?
We got win number 3, so doing well.
Yeah. Anytime you're 3-0, it's great. But when you can go on the road and get a win, even better, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't the prettiest game, but a win's a win. And going to Illini West is always going to be a challenge. So it was good to come out with a win.
21-6 victory over Illini West. It seemed like your defense made a bunch of plays tonight. And I was trying to follow along as best I could. But it seemed like your defense, when you needed them to especially, came up with big plays.
Yeah, they were flying around. I thought there was just one drive where they gained a bunch of yards on us, kind of got a couple big hit plays on us. But altogether, our defense flying around. Our linebackers were coming down, Drake and Langdon, Lambert getting some tackle for loss. And our DBs did a great job of keeping the ball in front of them and slowing them down.
And obviously we've talked about Drake May some with, being a sophomore and the numbers he racked up as a freshman and how well he has performed for his age. But now the age is kind of out of the picture now. He just goes to battle for you, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's Coach Wilson and I were talking on the bus ride home. He's like another coach out there. He gets guys lined up. He kind of reads the play really well, kind of watches a lot of film, knows what's coming. He was a kid that when his brother was in high school, he was the ball boy. He'd walk over from junior high practice and hang out, and he was there every Friday night with us. So he might be a sophomore, but he's been with the high school program for the last 4 years. So great things out of Drake.
We're talking with Macomb coach Tanner Horrell on the United Systems hotline. Coach, you and I talked in the preseason and then over the last couple of weeks how important it is for you guys to run the ball. Did you run the ball effectively tonight?
Not as effectively as we would have liked.
Okay.
We had moments. I thought Malachi had some nice gains. Drake came in and ran the ball really well. And then Braden busted a couple, but they did some things. hit some gaps on us, and we kind of got a little penetration. So those are things that we have to clean up, but that's good that you can see that in a win and build off those. But yeah, we got things that we need to clean up, but we're still excited. It's much improved from last year.
What has been maybe the number one thing, your number one takeaway from 3 wins that has you undefeated through 3 weeks? What is that number one thing?
I would say it's the team chemistry. I think the chemistry this year is outstanding. The energy that we brought week 2 was out. I mean, it was great. They were building each other up, making plays, jumping up and down. We're kind of dead a little bit tonight, but just they're all in it together. I think that's the big thing. It's not one guy. It's not I'm not getting the ball, I'm going to pout. I'm going to block for my teammate.
Yeah.
If we're running a screen pass, I'm going to block for him, and my number will get called at some point. So I think that's our biggest thing. Like, we're our biggest cheerleaders.
Well, and my guess is some of your guys were either on the field 2 years ago when you had the undefeated regular season, but at least we're around it. And then to fight through last year's struggles and to battle, but to see them now 3-0 and see their hard work paying off, it's got to be somewhat of a relief for them to see that it actually does pay off.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we had a bunch of young kids last year step up, but they were around the program. We had our sophomores all dress, and we really practiced as one team for the most part a couple years ago. So those guys were around that. They understood that energy and what they had to bring to practice every day, and we're seeing that this year. We maybe lacked that a little bit at times last year. We went through some things, but this year we're getting that energy back, and we're understanding that when it's time to lock into practice, it's time to lock in at practice. So I think that's going to boost us going forward.
Well, Coach, good win tonight, 21-6 over Illini West, 3-0. Keep them rolling, and really appreciate you taking time to join us on the United Systems Hotline.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Awesome,
appreciate
man.
it.
Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
That was Tanner Horrell, Macomb football coach, joining us on the United Systems Hotline. The Bombers are off to a 3-0 start, looking to get back to the playoffs this year. And another team that's off to a solid start put up 56 points tonight is Palmyra. Dalton Hill, Palmyra coach, will join us in our next segment, so stick around. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
As a new hunting season begins, we observe a species most rare, the hunter incompetus. The hunting ritual begins. Already, he stakes his claim by bringing a duck call to a deer hunt. Disaster strikes. A devastating blow to a long-suffering species. There may be no helping the hunter incompetus, but for everyone else, no other place has it all like Farm and Home Supply.
Tell my mom to pick me up soon.
Hey, grab me one too.
So what separates us most from all the other dealerships is the Toyota brand itself.
Once they buy a Toyota, they never buy anything else. Number one vehicle on the market, the best sedan on the market, some of the best reliable trucks on the market. And our main goal here is to try and get our customers the best payment possible.
We know the process and we pass that along to you.
We're simply looking to buy vehicles off the street.
And we want all makes and models of vehicles.
And you don't even have to buy anything in return. We'll just simply purchase it from you.
We can purchase a vehicle in 10 or 15 minutes or less.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
The Smart Start Transfer Career Academy lets you get your associate's degree early, starting in high school.
I graduated my associate's degree on Friday, 2 days before I graduated high school on Sunday.
It allowed me to get way, way ahead.
Having my prerequisites done is going to help me a lot, as I will get to start a year earlier than I would have without it.
It's really easy to make good connections with people that actually care about you. They helped me plan things out in a way that I definitely wouldn't have been able to do on my own. It made it really easy for me.
If you've been in a motor vehicle accident, contact McCleary Law.
There was nowhere to go. We were on the bridge.
All of a sudden, a guy started going over in our lane and hit us head on.
I couldn't even breathe. It was just unbelievable that it even happened.
We needed to get a hold of an attorney, and our first thoughts was to get a hold of Dan McCleary. Everything's pretty easy when you deal with Dan.
He got us way more than we expected to get.
We don't charge anything until we win your case. Call McCleary Law.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman. Let's jump into the Week 3 scoreboard presented by Schottenkirk Toyota. Quincy High School over Rock Island, 48-7. Quincy Notre Dame beat Springfield Southeast, 43-0. Troy Buchanan, 35-29 over Hannibal. Camp Point Central, 41-0 over Beardstown. Brown County shuts out Unity Payson, 32-0. South Shelby over Monroe City, 44-22. Macomb beats Illini West, 21-6. Elmwood Brimfield, 57-20 over West Hancock. Stanford Olympia beats Pittsfield 43-34. Greenfield Northwestern 32-0 over Pleasant Hill. Brookfield shuts out Highland 62-0. Winfield over Mark Twain 25-6. And a big one tonight, Palmyra 56-14 victory over Macon in the Clarence Cannon Conference opener. And we're going to head to the United Systems Hotline to talk about that game with Panthers head coach Dalton Hill. Coach, how are you?
Doing well. How you doing?
Thanks for taking the time to join us. Anytime your team puts up 56 points, it's a good night, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime that you put up 56 points, you've had a successful night on offense, and so I'm extremely proud of our kids for that.
If I got my numbers correct, picked it up over 440 yards rushing. Wyatt Augsburg and Landon Carroll both, I think, 7 combined for 7 touchdowns. Really were able to ground and pound tonight, weren't you?
Absolutely. No, I haven't seen the stats myself yet. I'll get those tomorrow morning, but I think that's fairly accurate. Those two kids, paired together, they're a nasty mix and kind of like a double-headed monster back there, and they do a really, really good job of, finding the seams in the defense, and so extremely proud of their performance.
What makes your offense click?
What I preach is we have to win the LOS. Mm-hmm. And so, obviously, we want to be extremely technical up front. We want to play extremely hard. We want to be very physical. I think offensively what makes us tick a little bit is just the ability for our offensive line to work as one, work in unison, pair that with a little bit shift trade motion and allowing those backs to have some freedom back there and say, hey, we're going to press this point, but we're going to let you do the rest, has been really, really good, kind of letting athletes be athletes, if you will.
And it sounds like it's kind of similar on defense. You got some strong kids up front defensively, but that allows your linebackers the freedom to roam and to make plays and to run sideline to sideline.
Yeah, again, up front defensively, we're doing good things at times, a lot to clean up, a lot of things to work on. Are we overly big? Absolutely not. Are we overly athletic? Absolutely not. But again, what we preach is technicality and play hard, So self-discipline, technicalities, and, playing whistle to whistle. And that showed up big for us tonight, Defensive line got a lot of pressure on the quarterback at times, and we had several sacks there. But my mind goes back to the ones that we missed. And so we've got to get back in and clean that up on Monday.
We're talking with Palmyra coach Dalton Hill here on the United Systems Hotline. Coach, I think you held Macon under 100 yards rushing from the sounds of it. A really solid defensive effort, especially coming off a loss last week. To come back and play at that level shows your kids have some resiliency, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I got to give it to Coach Huffman. He's our defensive coordinator, and I actually have very, very little to do with our defense because he does such a great job. And he's an extremely hard worker, and he definitely prepared our kids well and put them in the right spots and made sure that they were prepared for pretty much everything that Macon threw at them tonight. So, again, I give it all defensive credit to Coach Huffman. He did a phenomenal job.
Well, you picked a pretty good guy who knows a thing or two about tackling to put in charge of your defense.
Oh, absolutely. You know, what separates Coach Huffman from others, in my opinion, on the defensive side of football is the work ethic that he has every day. You know, he puts more stress on himself than anybody else, and he never points the finger at kids. He always wonders what he could do different and what kind of position he could put the kids in or how he can teach them a little bit better. And so, like I said, again, I have very, very little to do with the defense other than I do like to jump in with our defensive line a little bit and make sure that we're getting things done there. But he's doing good by these kids, and the kids are very receptive to him, and they play hard for him on that side of the ball. And they had a good performance tonight on defense, and like I said, it's just incredibly proud of our kids there.
2-1 through 3 weeks. How much confidence have your guys gotten, or how much has confidence grown over this 3-week span because they've seen some success?
I think it's grown quite a bit. Our kids just, you know, it's no secret that Palmyra football struggled for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how that is. It comes in kind of like a snowball effect a little bit. And so just getting our kids to understand that, hey, now you've won a couple games and you know that you're capable of stringing together more, and getting them to feel that, it's almost like addicting. You know, we want them to feel that every week so that when we do face a loss, they don't want to feel that way again. And now that they have that taste of, hey, we can do this, hey, we can be successful, it's just we have to do X, Y, and Z to get it done. I think that's, like I said, it's addicting. They want to feel this way again. So hopefully that projects them into practice in the following weeks. And, you know, I preach you practice how you play. So hopefully we'll have a couple good weeks of practice here moving forward.
Well, and knowing what's on your schedule the next 6 weeks, they need to have confidence. They need to have some swagger to contend with teams they're going to be pretty darn good.
Oh, absolutely. You know, like I said, I'm very transparent, and you know, I'll tell our kids and tell people up front, hey, we're not going to wow you with speed. Hey, we're not going to wow you with size. Hey, we're not going to wow you with those type of things. But we're going to play 48 minutes of hard-nosed, physical, downhill, disciplined football. And if we do those things and we don't let off the gas, enough good things will compile that we'll be successful and be able to stack quality days.
Awesome, Coach. Thanks for taking the time to join us. Congratulations on the first CCC victory, and good luck as the season rolls on.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
That was Dalton Hill, Palmyra football coach, joining us on the United Systems hotline. Panthers with a big-time victory tonight, 56-14 over Macon in the Clarence Cannon Conference opener. Saw some really good efforts out of the Clarence Cannon Conference teams tonight. That Monroe City-South Shelby game, South Shelby won 44-22. Sounded like kind of a barn burner, and sounded like South Shelby's the real deal when it comes to offense after scoring more than 60 the first 2 weeks to come back and put up 44 on Monroe. Muddy River Sports writer Shane Hulsey, I almost didn't say that, was there tonight. So he's going to join us in hour number 2 to talk about that matchup. He's back from Monroe City. He's getting his stuff together. We'll get to him a little later in hour number 2. But as we head into hour number 2, we got some guests lined up. Eric Gower, the Quincy High School defensive coordinator, is going to join us here in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio. Tayen Scott, a record-setting linebacker from Quincy Notre Dame, is going to join us on the line. And we got more to get to, scores, highlights, the whole kit and caboodle, when we come back for hour number 2. So stick with us. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
I love to shop online, and one thing I'm not going to screw up is a piece of jewelry that I'm going to wear for the rest of my life.
And it's as simple as just being able to see it. Like, just being able to actually physically hold it and see it, that's different than like, oh, look, I'm on the internet. Like, that looks nice, I think.
Trying on rings and seeing different sizes and the different colors, and I just want to be able to touch and feel it and have the experience. having the experience is going to be more important to me than just adding something to a cart and clicking buy now.
There are 3 things that she's going to get asked. How did he propose? How big's the diamond? And where did he get it?
I'm proud to tell my friends that, this is where I got my ring.
I don't know. It just seems like it's kind of a no-brainer.
From your trash to your recycling, you're doing your part. You can trust us to do ours. We're a team of people working hard for you, turning problems into solutions and waste into possibilities. We're Republic Services. We haul it, we recycle it, we convert it, we even electrify it. We work where you work. We live where you live. We are Republic Services.
When you're shopping at the grocery store, do you ever wonder where your beef comes from? Here at Jersey's, we do not. We know all of our beef comes directly from GJY Beef Company in Brown County. We know that these cattle are born and raised right here in our own backyard. So next time that you're looking for a juicy burger, ribeye sandwich, or mouth-watering steak, look no further than GJY Beef Company and Jersey's Bar and Grill, 109 East Jefferson, Camp Point, Illinois.
Why choose between high quality and low prices when you can have both? It's a private brand bonanza at your local Farm Home Supply starting on September 6th. The items you can only find at your local store, like Noble Outfitters work pants, 25% off for both men and women. Plus, it's going to get cold soon, so we got 20% off all Noble hoodies. Plus, you can get a 40-pound bag of Heartland Harvest dog food for only $22.99 starting that price. Lots of outdoor work to do, so we got Harvest King ready-to-use fuel at $5.99. Oh yeah, hunting season's almost here, so Duke and Boom pop-up line for $50. Find all these deals and more right now at farmandhomesupply.com.
Sometimes life throws bold moments at you, like finding the perfect vacation or finding the ideal location. At BOS, we're there to help you meet those moments with bold confidence. So whether it's managing money for future plans or getting what you need to start planning your dream, we're here to bring you a better banking experience. Make the bold move and switch to BOS today.
Welcome back for hour number 2 of Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Schuckman. Thanks for sticking around with us. Had a fun first hour talking football. Tom Little, Dalton Hill, Tanner Horrell. 3 great coaches joined us all on the United Systems hotline. We had Jason Kilday, the Quincy University coach, here in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio. We're going to have 1 guest in studio, 2 guests actually in studio, because Shane Hulsey of our Muddy River Sports staff will join us here later in the hour. And then we're also going to hit up the United Systems hotline and talk to Tayen Scott, Quincy Notre Dame linebacker, who set a tackling record, the career tackling record at Notre Dame tonight. We'll get to that here as the hour rolls on. First, we want to get you updated on all the scores from Week 3. So we're going to head to the Shot & Crew Toyota Week 3 scoreboard, starting right here in the Gem City. Quincy High School with a 48-7 victory over Rock Island in the Western Big Six Conference opener. First time they've played the Rocks in the Big Six opener since 2015. That year, Quincy lost 30-28. This year, Rock Island barely got 28 yards. So, pretty good effort from the Blue Devils, and we're going to talk more about that. We got a guy in studio here that's going to join us in our next segment to talk about just how good that Blue Devil defense was tonight. Quincy Notre Dame across town at Advanced Physical Therapy Field with a 43-0 victory over Springfield Southeast in its first Central State 8 conference game. The Raiders are new to the league. They've joined for football only. They're in the West Division of the league. And a good win to start, beating Springfield Southeast 43-0. Like I said, we're going to talk to Tayen Scott here later this hour. Troy Buchanan knocks off Hannibal 35-29 in a non-conference game. Camp Point Central opens WIVC play by beating Beardstown 41-0. Good bounce-back win for the Panthers coming off last week's 1-point loss to Hardin Calhoun. Brown County, 32-0 over Unity Payson. That Brown County defense is legit. 16 points allowed through 3 games, get the shutout tonight. I think they're going to be somebody to fear as the season rolls on in the WIVC North. South Shelby, state-ranked South Shelby, doesn't score 60 this week. They had scored 62 and 60 in their first 2 games. They only had 44 tonight. I guess that's all right, because it did get them a victory. 44-22 over Monroe City in the Clarence Canyon Conference opener. Macomb beats Illini West 21-6 at Fuzz Burgess Field. Elmwood Brimfield takes down West Hancock 57-20. Stanford Olympia beats Pittsfield 43-34. Greenfield Northwestern shuts out Pleasant Hill 32-0. Brookfield over Highland 62-0. Winfield over Mark Twain 25-6. And the guy we just talked to in our last segment, Palmyra coach Dalton Hill, him and the Panthers take down Macon 56-14. The Panthers rushed for 442, unofficially 442 yards and 7 touchdowns tonight, held Macon to 75 yards rushing. It's a pretty good defensive effort and a pretty good way to start the Clarence Cannon Conference season. Palmyra 2-1 so far. That's a team that's looking to rebound from a couple of tough years and has built some confidence. And if you look up and down that Week 3 scoreboard presented by Schottenkirk Toyota, you see a lot of teams brimming with confidence right now. Quincy High School and Quincy Notre Dame, two of those teams very confident right now through 3 weeks. Camp Point Central, great bounce back win, playing with confidence, huge. And we talked to Brown County coach Tom Little in that first hour. Huge win for them for confidence. You know, it was homecoming night in Mount Sterling. They're celebrating their 75th season of football at Brown County High School. And to come out and get a 32-0 victory and put those first 2 weeks to rest, where they only allowed 16 points in 2 weeks and didn't come away with a win either week. That's tough. That's tough to do. But to see them bounce back, and again, I think there's going to be some head knockers and some real showdowns coming up in the WIVC North. One of my favorite words to use and to ever write, slobber knocker. We're going to see some slobber knockers. We might even see a slobber knocker next week in Moline when Quincy High School heads up there for a Western Big Six showdown. Moline beat Geneseo tonight in Western Big Six Conference play. So that was a good win for the Maroons, and it sets up a big one next week as the Blue Devils, they're hard to beat right now. And we've seen that the last 2 years, which is why we're going to talk to defensive coordinator Eric Gower. Now, he thought this was a joke that we were going to have him come in to the studio. He thought he was getting set up for a surprise. Maybe we will surprise him. Maybe we'll throw somebody on the United Systems hotline to see how he handles it. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to talk defense with him. Incredible defensive effort from the Blue Devils tonight. So stick around for our next segment. Eric Gower, Quincy High School defensive coordinator, in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio, ready to join us. We are going to take a break. Come back. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Simply free checking with First Bankers Trust. No monthly fees and easy digital banking. Plus, show your school spirit with a Blue Devil Spirit card. Get yours today and proudly support the Blue Devils all season long. Go Blue Devils!
Business telephone systems enhance productivity. Fire alarms increase your safety. Surveillance and security ensures your peace of mind. Experience, technology, service. United Systems.
When you're shopping at the grocery store, do you ever wonder where your beef comes from? Here at Jersey's, we do not. We know all of our beef comes directly from GJY Beef Company in Brown County. We know that these cattle are born and raised right here in our own backyard. So next time that you're looking for a juicy burger, ribeye sandwich, or mouth-watering steak, look no further than GJY Beef Company and Jersey's Bar and Grill, 109 East Jefferson, Camp Point, Illinois.
For 125 years, Hollister Whitney has designed and manufactured solutions for the vertical transportation industry right here in Quincy, Illinois. Now you have the chance to be a vital part of this quality-driven, family-oriented team. We have salaried and hourly positions available, both with excellent benefits and very competitive wages. Cutting-edge technology, a dynamic, engaging, and flexible work environment, the opportunity to achieve your full potential. Elevate your career to the next level at Hollister Whitney.
My name is Jamie Kincaid, and we own Sterling Tax Service. I am a retired fireman. We came to Edwards Group originally to figure out where we were with our estate. For us, it was peace of mind that our daughter wouldn't have to try and figure out what was going on, because it would be impossible for her. It's an easy process. You get off the fence and do it, because you will appreciate it later.
Call Edwards Group today to schedule your path to peace of mind.
Hi, I'm Rory O'Donnell with the O'Donnell Cooks and Life Celebration Home. As a Quincy University alum, I understand the impact a local business has on area athletics. That is why the O'Donnell Cooks and Life Celebration Home takes pride in supporting local athletic teams. We want to wish all of our area teams the best of luck this season. The O'Donnell Cooks and Life Celebration Home of Quincy, supporting local athletics for 5 generations.
Business moves at the speed of light. How can you keep pace with today's technological advancements in alarms, surveillance, and phone systems? 2 words, United Systems. Contact us today for your no-obligation business review.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman, hanging out in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio in downtown Quincy. We're going to get to our conversation with Quincy High School Defensive Coordinator Eric Gower here in just a moment, but we wanted to run down the Week 3 scoreboard from the Western Big Six Conference presented by Schottenkirk Toyota. Quincy High School, as we said earlier, with a 48-7 victory over Rock Island. Moline puts up 51 points tonight in a 51-21 victory over Geneseo. Sterling squeaks by with a 27-26 victory over United Township. UT with the touchdown needed the extra point to tie the game with 2 minutes to go in regulation, missed the PAT, and then had one last-ditch effort that Sterling intercepted to hold on for that victory. And then Morrison beats Galesburg 31-14. Those are your Western Big Six scores from Week 3, brought to you by Schottenkirk Toyota. And we're going to head to our first Quincy High School segment of the night. Here it is, hour number 2, and we're just now getting around to talking about Quincy High School. All Quincy High School segments brought to you by First Bankers Trust. And thank you for taking the time to join us here in the studio, Eric Gower.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on.
I figured you might big time us since, your defense goes out and allows 1 first down in 3 quarters. Figured you might say, I'm too good for that tonight.
No, a lot of credit to our kids tonight. They played a great football game.
Sounded like it.
Yeah, it was a really good effort.
What was it? What was it about your defensive effort tonight that really kind of set them apart?
We talked through 2 weeks a lot about our tackling. Obviously you watched the Notre Dame game,
yep.
And then last week we struggled at times, but tonight it wasn't perfect, but as close to perfect obviously as you can get. Our tackling and our effort, and I don't want to say we've had bad effort through 2 weeks, but it was just one of those things where everything clicked tonight, and it feels like from week 1 to week 2 to week 2 to week 3, we really put it all together tonight.
Well, when I was out of practice this week, I talked to Ben Shelp and some of your other guys, and Ben being a junior linebacker, and I think the big thing from their perspective was we got to get off to a better start. Like, we can't let teams just kind of hang around and then put them away. Mm-hmm. It's like let's almost the case of put the foot on the throat right now. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like they did that tonight.
Yeah, they did a great job coming out. Our offense really helps us when they score on two plays in the first 35 seconds of the game. That always eases everybody. But they did a great job coming out and playing our brand of football, which is getting as many hats to the ball as we can, and just kind of how I think about things defensively is that if we can shut down a team's run game, they're not going to outscore us or not going to outthrow us on offense. So that's what we had this week is, we gave our kids a solid game plan. Our coaching staff, Coach Brigham John, our linebackers coach, Coach Marty Smith, our D-line coach, and I thought we had a really good game plan going in, and our kids executed it to a T.
You talked about shutting down the run game. Rocky with negative yards rushing tonight. I think they 1 first down through 3 quarters, 3 total first downs. Mm-hmm. That's a credit to your defensive front and your linebackers of getting penetration and getting pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, they did. Rick and I talk all the time about how I wouldn't want to block our defensive front, our line, and our linebackers for 4 quarters, and they did a great job tonight. We feel very confident that we're at both positions. Linebacker, our 3, we were odd front, so 3 D linemen. We're too deep. We feel too deep and feel good about the 6 guys we have that we can rotate in, and we feel we're 6 deep at linebacker as well, where we can rotate guys in and keep guys fresh, and they did a great job tonight.
What I find interesting about your defensive front, and you said you got 6 guys you can rotate among those 3 spots, but they're all different. Mm-hmm. You got a big mountain of a man in Todd Smith. Mm-hmm. You've got a Cameron Flax Hill who gets off the ball really quick. Yep. And could probably talk any offensive lineman, into anything.
Absolutely.
But I mean, you go in Demarius DeVerger, and you go down the line. everybody's different, but collectively it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And really what I love about coaching that group, you know, Demarius has started for us for 3 years now, and Colton Smith, who's coming off an ACL injury, has been phenomenal. Last year, you know, in limited time, and then this year he's come back and been so strong. And we really haven't had to play Todd Smith either.
True, yeah.
So, and he's chomping at the bit to get it on defense, which we appreciate. But you know, they need him on offense too. So, yeah, we're just so like versatile on the defensive front, and all three guys can confidently play all three spots on our defensive line. And we have a sophomore, Rylan Bloyd, who actually started for us at nose tonight. Just we had some sickness this week, so moving some guys around. But he's a really good player, and he's just starting that process of getting better. So he was great. He was really good tonight. So we're excited about him as well.
We're talking with Quincy High School defense coordinator Eric Gower here in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio. You talked about your linebackers, and one of your guys at that spot, Max Wires, has battled injury.
Yes, he has.
It's been a long road for him to get back. Twice hurt the knee. But he's back. He's healthy. He's contributing.
Yes, he is.
As a coach, you see a kid that works so hard to get back, to want to be a part of it, and then to finally get there. How cool is that for you as a coach?
And it's not only once; it's twice. You know, it's you know, everybody can, you know, not everybody, but you know, going through one ACL injury and then not only having one, having two. And what he's done and just his mentality. You know, he'd probably be the first to tell you. You know, he's not as fast as he once was, but he's part of the heart of our defense, right? He gets kids just follow him. He's just a natural leader, and just for him to be able to strengthen those skills, it's been awesome. I love the kid to death, and just being able to see him come back from this and contribute, and hopefully continue to contribute and stay healthy is huge for us.
Well, through the injuries, he stuck around. It wasn't like he went, I'm hurt, I'm just going to go sit over here and do my rehab. And he was there every day. He was on the sideline. He was trying to be a leader last year when you didn't really need him to be a leader because you had a bunch of leaders, but he still was.
Right.
And that has really carried over to this year, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's somebody, like I said, what's the word I'm looking for? He's as infectious of a personality as you'll meet, as you're definitely aware of.
Yep.
And kids just follow him, and whether he knows it or feels it or needs to be, he's a leader. He's somebody that people really gravitate towards, and having him last year and then getting him back this year and being able to kind of, you know, our conversation last spring and stuff was like, we're going to slowly build you up so that you can play. We're not gonna rush you back into this. And it was like, honestly, we talked about, Rick and I talked about, if we don't need to use you for 3 weeks, then the first 3 weeks of the season, you know, to keep you healthy and to build you into playing shape, we'll do that. And to his credit, he really worked on himself this summer and was there for us. And you know, he's been a stalwart on our defense, and regardless of if he's playing or not.
Well, I told him in the preseason, take your time, get back to playing, get back to feeling good. And then he and I are going to sit down. I want to write his story.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I wanted him to not feel the pressure of that right off the bat. He's got to be able to play. He's got to be able to be comfortable and not worry about the knee.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. When you've torn it twice, you got to think it's going to happen again. Just natural instincts are, okay, when's it going to happen again?
Right.
But he doesn't seem to be playing that way. He seems to be playing normal.
No, he's very normal, and he's. The conversations we had even last year, you have real conversations with kids like that. When they've done that, it's like, hey man, if you never want to play football again, nobody's going to blame you.
Yeah.
You know, and to his credit, you know, it's just very courageous, and that doesn't get talked about enough either. Even to be out there, you know, through doing that twice in 2 years, and not, you know, being quite the same player that you once were, but to just gut it out and be there for our program and our team. Yeah, I can't say enough about it.
Next week you go on the road. Go to Moline, first road trip of the year. First time getting on a bus.
Yep.
Go to Moline, a team that put up 51 points tonight.
Yep.
As the defensive coordinator who has to try to stop that offense, how soon do you start thinking about Moline?
About an hour ago. You know, or throughout the day, honestly, you know, we started breaking them down because we had some downtime today. So yeah, you know, you're constantly thinking about it. You don't put everything ahead, but you know, most football coaches will tell you that, you know, you slightly have an idea of what you're going to see the week after the game you play on Friday. So, you know, we're thinking about it, and you know, they give us fits. They have every year since I've been here, and it's just one of those things where you're constantly trying to come up with things to help them or to help stop them, and you know, put together a game plan that our kids can execute. And you know, frankly, last year playing them, you know, we won, and it was a you know, a back and forth game. They still had a good team, but we did enough, and we want to continue to grow in that, and you know, go up there, and you know, you're going to be ready for an absolute, like you said, what'd you call that? What was your
slobber knocker?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate description of what that game will be next Friday.
So. I think you're going to have a slobber knocker, and with two physical teams, you're going to see a few snot bubblers.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You know, and they do everything really well. They're as well coached of a team as you'll see. Coach Morrissey does a phenomenal job, and they have they always seem to have 3-4 running backs.
They do.
Really big linemen, and they get them all the ball, and you know, they do a good job.
Well, thank you for taking time. I know your coaching staff gets together on Friday nights after the game, so I want to let you get back to that because I'm sure they're going to critique your interview.
My watch hasn't stopped ringing since I started talking. So,
well, I hope the food connoisseur in the group, Brigham John, has something prepared for you.
Yeah, he thinks he's the food connoisseur.
Yeah. I don't. Correct me. The Italian
horseshoe.
Horseshoe, yeah.
It's in Colchester.
We hear about it all the time.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to go try that out, you can shoot Chuck some feedback on that.
Because I hear about it all the time.
Yeah. So you won't stop hearing about
Probably
it.
Not. Coach, thanks for taking the time to come in.
Appreciate you having me.
Appreciate it. That was Quincy High School defensive coordinator Eric Gower hanging out with us in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio. Blue Devils with a 48-7 win over Rock Island tonight. Hitting the road next week, go to Moline. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get on the United Systems hotline and talk to Tayen Scott, Quincy Notre Dame linebacker who had a record-setting night. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
Looking for a new hangout or a place to eat? Gabe welcomes you to the Silver Dollar. Delicious menu options, daily lunch and drink specials, and 6 gambling machines. Come hang out on the patio with friends at the Silver Dollar, 7403 Broadway. Gaming and grill up on the hill. Silver Dollar.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Your policy's updated.
Because we know your house is where their dreams begin.
Impressive.
Thanks, Caleb. And our agents are here to help you feel protected so your family can pursue their dreams. Bundle life and save up to 25% on home and auto. American Family Insurance.
Neiman's, your neighborhood market.
Whether you're going to a local football game, you're really hungry, or you just want to find some fall clothes on the cheap, we have a tailgating sale at your local Farm and Home Supply this weekend, starting with $50 off this portable griddle or $100 off this electric smoker. Then for $2.99, take your pick between kitchen cooked chips or 24-pack bottled water. Plus, take 20% off the new Meat Church barbecue seasonings. Plus, we got hoodies for the whole family. Save 25% off all Under Armour sweatshirts. Then, where else can you get jeans for under $10? Save big on our most popular full blue brand. And we have 30% off all caps and CC beanies.
Hey, grab me one too.
Muddy Night Lights is also brought to you by Town & Country Inn and Nationwide Transportation.
Looking for a new hangout or a place to eat? Gabe welcomes you to the Silver Dollar. Delicious menu options, daily lunch and drink specials, and 6 gambling machines. Come hang out on the patio with friends at the Silver Dollar, 7403 Broadway. Gaming and grill up on the hill. Silver Dollar.
For 125 years, Hollister Whitney has designed and manufactured solutions for the vertical transportation industry right here in Quincy, Illinois. Now you have the chance to be a vital part of this quality-driven, family-oriented team. We have salaried and hourly positions available, both with excellent benefits and very competitive wages. Cutting-edge technology, a dynamic, engaging, and flexible work environment, the opportunity to achieve your full potential. Elevate your career to the next level at Hollister Whitney.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports editor Matt Shuckman, hanging out in downtown Quincy on our Refreshment Services Pepsi studio. We are going to head to the United Systems hotline in just a moment. First, I want to get you caught up on some scores. This was the first night of Central State 8 conference play for Quincy Notre Dame. The Raiders, new to the league, playing in the West Division, and they got off to a great start, beating Springfield Southeast 43-0. Sacred Heart Griffin, down 10-7 to Jacksonville at halftime, comes back to win 35-10. The other West Division games, Springfield beats Springfield Lamphere 51-12. 3 games out of the East Division, Rochester beats Lincoln 63-7. Derek Leonard with his 200th career victory in that game. Normal U High beats Decatur MacArthur 48-7. And we have not been able to track down a Chatham Glenwood Decatur Eisenhower score just yet. If we get one before the show's over, we'll provide you one. Otherwise, you can check our website, muddyriversports.com, for a complete scoreboard. We'll have everything uploaded later tonight. But right now, we're going to talk more about the Central State 8 and tonight's 43-0 victory over Springfield Southeast with Quincy Notre Dame linebacker Tayen Scott on the United Systems hotline. Tayen, how are you?
I'm doing good, Matt.
Hey, great. Thanks for taking the time to join us.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 43-0 over Springfield Southeast. How well did you guys play defensively to pitch that shutout?
I think defensively we kept it real. Definitely nutted up and we got after it. I'll say that.
We talked in the preseason and heading into this season, the defense was going to be a team strength. Is there anything about this defense that has made you believe even stronger? This team is a playoff caliber defense. Is there anything that's happened in the first 3 weeks that made you go, we're as good as advertised?
I see a lot of guys who I never would have thought would have played are actually they're in the game and they're making these plays. And we've got depth and we got guys who want to communicate and guys who really want to play. I think that's what's going to take far.
How much does that come from the leadership of you and Wyatt Mueller and some of the other seniors to bring those young guys along? How much effort have you guys put into showing them the way?
We give 100% of effort. We had Kale start tonight, and he's a little sophomore, and he's going to be next backer. I got to teach him and pull him up with me. He had a great game, and we're really educating these guys on how to play, and the generations to come, they're going to be ready.
The interesting thing about your schedule, you were at home tonight at Advanced Physical Therapy Field. You haven't left the town. You haven't left the city limits yet to play a football game. We're 3 weeks into the season. How big of an advantage has that been for you guys?
It's definitely been huge, I think. Being able to play at home, give confidence and, you got the home advantage and I think it's really helped us.
We're talking with Tayen Scott, Quincy Notre Dame senior linebacker here on the United Systems hotline. All Quincy Notre Dame segments brought to you by First Bankers Trust. And Tayen, you set the career tackles record tonight. Did you know going in that you had a shot at it tonight?
Actually didn't. The thing with the tackles is I never really thought about it. My whole goal was just win games and get us going far. But it was an unexpected surprise. But I'm really happy with how it worked out.
What has made you, as you progress through your career, become such a good tackler? And the fact is, it's not just one season. You've been able to do it throughout your career. What has made that possible for you?
As my coaches say, if you want to be a football player, you should wrestle. And, I took that advice to heart. After my freshman season, I join the wrestling team. Tell you what, I got my butt handed to me a lot that year, but it taught me a lot. And I came out my sophomore year, and I think I had 70 tackles that year. And I credit it all to wrestling because it's really made me the linebacker I am today.
And you've developed into a pretty salty wrestler as well.
Yes, sir.
The how enjoyable has that been to see the progress you've made as a wrestler?
It makes me super proud of myself. I'm happy that I've been successful in two sports, and I didn't like wrestling at first, but I love the sport now, and I'm really happy that I joined.
I know you have a good relationship with your coaching staff, and especially defensive coordinator Ben Morrison. What's the best piece of advice he's given you?
Just take things one day at a time, whether it's football or just life in general. Take things day at a time. You can't. I'm not going to play in the state championship tomorrow. Take things one day at a time.
But you never know come November. If you guys keep playing the way you are, state championship appearance isn't out of the question, is it?
Oh, no, it's not. We're for it all this year. I've made it my life goal.
Awesome. Well, Tayen, I know you've got a lot going on, so I really appreciate you taking time to join us on the United Systems Hotline. Congratulations on the record, and best of luck the next 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Have a great night.
Yep, you too.
That was Quincy Notre Dame linebacker Tayen Scott joining us on the United Systems Hotline. He set the career tackles record at Quincy Notre Dame tonight. Last year, he set the single-season record. The kid's a tackling machine. We'll find out down the road which college program is going to be lucky enough to get him. But whoever it is, they're getting a gem. And I know the QUND coaching staff can go on and on about what kind of person he is, what kind of leader he is, and what kind of football player he is. And having gotten to know him the last 3 years, they're right on every aspect. So good to see a good kid do something pretty special tonight. And the Raiders are off to a heck of a start. And they still haven't left town, and they got another home game next week. So we'll talk more about that as we move forward, and we'll get more on Quincy Notre Dame and Quincy High School in our First Banker Trust updates as we go along. But right now we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got a big matchup on the Missouri side we got to talk about. So join us. Shane Hulsey, Muddy River sports writer, will join us in our next segment. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home.
Simply free checking with First Bankers Trust. No monthly fees and easy digital banking. Plus, show your school spirit with a Quincy Notre Dame Raiders Spirit card. Get yours today and proudly support the QND Raiders all season long. Go Raiders!
Safety for your home. Security for your family. Communication for your business. Rely on locally owned United Systems to keep you connected. Contact us today for more information. United Systems.
Since 1929, we've been here to serve our communities with the best products and the best service. You are the reason we go to work every day, and we thank you for that. After all, we live where you do.
Neiman's, your neighborhood market.
My name is Jamie Kincaid, and we own Sterling Tax Service. I am a retired fireman. We came to Edwards Group originally to figure out where we were with our estate. For us, it was peace of mind that our daughter wouldn't have to try and figure out what was going on, because it would be impossible for her. It's an easy process. You get off the fence and do it, because you will appreciate it later.
Call Edwards Group today to schedule your path to peace of mind.
We believe that accessing care close to home is better for you and better for your family. For 120 years, Hannibal Regional has been committed to providing community-based, contemporary health care. From state-of-the-art surgical care to innovative cancer care, and now life-saving open-heart surgery. We are dedicated to expanding access to exceptional care in each of the communities we serve. Hannibal Regional, why go anywhere else?
Safety for your home, security for your family, communication for your business. Rely on locally owned United Systems to keep you connected. Contact us today for more information. United Systems.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman, hanging out in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio in downtown Quincy. We are heading into our final home stretch of tonight's episode, recapping week 3 of the high school football season. Shane Hulsey, Muddy River Sports writer, is going to join me here momentarily to talk about the Monroe City South Shelby matchup that took place at Langford Field tonight in Monroe City. First, though, we want to run down the week 3 scoreboard presented by Schottenkirk Toyota. Quincy High School, 48-7 over Rock Island. Quincy Notre Dame, 43-0 over Springfield Southeast. Troy Buchanan beats Hannibal, 35-29. Camp Point Central over Beardstown, 41-0. Brown County, 32-0 over Unity Payson. South Shelby beats Monroe City, 44-22. We'll get to that Clarence Cannon Conference opener a little more in depth here momentarily. Macomb over Illini West, 21-6. Elmwood Brimfield, 57-20 over West Hancock. Stanford Olympia beats Pittsfield 43-34. Greenfield Northwestern shuts out Pleasant Hill 32-0. Palmyra over Macon 56-14. Brookfield 62-0 over Highland. And Winfield beats Mark Twain 25-6. Those are your area scores, brought to you by Schottenkirk Toyota for week 3 of the prep football season. And the big showdown in Missouri tonight took place at Langford Field in Monroe City. And joining us here in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio, my sidekick, Shane Hulsey. What's up, buddy?
Oh, it's just another Friday night.
It is. Thank you. I know you're busy working, trying to get stuff done, written, and photos edited and all that fun stuff that we do on a nightly basis. So I appreciate you taking a couple minutes to talk about tonight's game. South Shelby 44-22 over Monroe. Sounded like one heck of a second quarter.
It was. Well, we'll sum this up as best as I can. There were no points the first 11 minutes of the game, and the rest of the first half, 44.
Wow. So it was back and forth in the second quarter.
Well, most of that was South Shelby.
Okay.
They got a late touchdown in the first quarter. Monroe City answered right back. South Shelby scored again, and then Monroe City breaks off a big run. This is about halfway through the second quarter. Dylan Ross breaks off a 54-yard run down to the 20.
Okay.
Next 3 plays don't go anywhere. 4th down, Daniel Timbrook, his first interception of his football career, much less any level of football, runs it back to the Monroe City 20.
Okay.
3rd and 23, Chase Mollering over the top to Preston Elson, an absolute dime for a touchdown. Monroe City's next drive doesn't go anywhere. South Shelby scores.
Gotcha.
3 and out, block punt, safety. South Shelby gets the ball back, scores again.
Wow.
30-6, and then Quincy Mayfield breaks off a 70-yard run right before the half. So It was just fireworks in the second quarter.
But that's what South Shelby can do to you. They have enough weapons, and they're explosive enough that if you give them a seam or you give them some space or just give them an opportunity, they can make you pay.
One mistake. It was really just a heady play by Timbrook. He just stepped in the passing lane. And he said he thought he was going to take it back. Quincy ran him down. He admitted that he doesn't run very fast with pads on, but he felt fast.
There is a difference between pad fast and normal fast.
Yeah.
Quincy Mayfield is just fast no matter what. So getting run down by Quincy Mayfield shouldn't be a slight to anyone because he may be the fastest guy on the field anywhere.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Solid defensive effort, it sounds like, from South Shelby. The fact of the matter is they've been blowing teams out. They need to be tested. Their defense need to be tested. They need to see some guys that were going to punch them in the mouth, didn't they?
They did, and that's what Coach Gunnerman was talking about after the game. You're not going to keep Monroe City down. They're going to break off big plays. They're going to score on you, and he was pleased with how his guys responded, especially in that second quarter, to really put the foot on the gas pedal.
But think about this: South Shelby scored 60 in week 1, 62 in week 2, 44 tonight.
And it could have been more.
Is anybody going to stop them?
Especially the way that offensive line is playing.
Yeah.
They are just moving guys left and right. They got several weapons they can go to on offense. I mean, Chase Mollering is leading them in rushing at the quarterback position. And they got 2 or 3 different running backs they can go to. They look, when we talk about a well-oiled machine, they've got it figured out.
No. And that's no slight to Monroe City. Monroe City is a team that could cause some headaches for some people in districts and in the postseason, including, again, they have talent. They're figuring some things out, especially up front. But I think their wealth of talent at the skill position is going to really show.
And they're explosive enough. We saw that tonight. I mean, Quincy's 70-yard run. Dylan Ross had that 50-plus yard run.
Right.
They have the explosive capability, but David Kirby was just talking about after the game sustaining drives. They had some penalties that set them back. They fumbled a couple of times. And against a team like South Shelby, you can't make those little mistakes. They'll cost you.
But that tells you just how good the Clarence Cannon Conference. You see what Palmyra did to Macon. We know how good Centralia typically is. The Clarence Cannon Conference isn't going to be a runaway for South Shelby or Palmyra or anybody.
No, they're going to be tested.
There's going to be dog fights most every Friday night in this league.
It's a fun league.
Good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed going over there to Langford Field. I'll let you get back to work.
And also side note.
Yes.
If anybody has not been to Casa Tequila, the Mexican restaurant right across the street from Langford Field,
Okay.
I was spending some time there this afternoon.
Yeah.
Going to feature on Audrey Youngblood. Keep an eye out for that next week.
Next Tuesday. You can find that at muddyriversports.com next Tuesday.
Tried Casa Tequila for the first time. Thanks to Melissa Chin, softball coach, recommending it.
Very nice.
Absolutely incredible.
What was the Shane Hulsey dish of the night?
I had a steak burrito that was absolutely incredible.
There you go. Good. we might have to get into that, the Shane Hulsey culinary tour of the area.
I'd be more than happy to.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for taking the time to get to work. You got to get a story online so these South Shelby and Monroe City fans can read about it.
Coming up shortly.
Awesome. We are going to take a break. When we come back, Starry Star of the Night, brought to you by Refreshment Services Pepsi. So stick around. This is Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farmer Home Supply.
Sometimes life throws bold moments at you, like finding the perfect vacation or finding the ideal location. At BOS, we're there to help you meet those moments with bold confidence. So whether it's managing money for future plans or getting what you need to start planning your dream, we're here to bring you a better banking experience. Make the bold move and switch to BOS today.
Looking for a new hangout or a place to eat? Gabe welcomes you to the Silver Dollar. Delicious menu options, daily lunch and drink specials, and 6 gambling machines. Come hang out on the patio with friends at the Silver Dollar, 7403 Broadway. Gaming and grill up on the hill. Silver Dollar.
Hi, I'm Rory O'Donnell with the O'Donnell Cooks and Life Celebration Home. As a Quincy University alum, I understand the impact a local business has on area athletics. That is why the O'Donnell Cooks and Life Celebration Home takes pride in supporting local athletic teams. We want to wish all of our area teams the best of luck this season. The O'Donnell Cooks and Life Celebration Home of Quincy, supporting local athletics for 5 generations.
Looking for a new hangout or a place to eat? Gabe welcomes you to the Silver Dollar. Delicious menu options, daily lunch and drink specials, and 6 gambling machines. Come hang out on the patio with friends at the Silver Dollar, 7403 Broadway. Gaming and grill up on the hill. Silver Dollar.
We believe that accessing care close to home is better for you and better for your family. For 120 years, Hannibal Regional has been committed to providing community-based, contemporary health care. From state-of-the-art surgical care to innovative cancer care, and now life-saving open-heart surgery. We are dedicated to expanding access to exceptional care in each of the communities we serve. Hannibal Regional, Why go anywhere else?
Motor vehicle accidents are traumatic situations, and oftentimes they can result in very significant and permanent injuries. In Steve and Paula's case, they were hit by a drunk driver on the bridge. They realized very quickly that it was a significant accident and that they deserved to be reasonably compensated. Now, having worked for the insurance companies for several years, I know how to best present your case. If you've been in a motor vehicle accident, call McCleary Law.
From your trash to your recycling, you're doing your part. You can trust us to do ours. We're a team of people working hard for you, turning problems into solutions and waste into possibilities. We're Republic Services. We haul it, we recycle it, we convert it, we even electrify it. We work where you work. We live where you live. We are Republic Services.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. It is close to the end of hour number 2, which means we're almost wrapping up another fun night of high school football in West Central Illinois and Northeast Missouri. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for joining us on our Week 3 episode, brought to you by Farm and Home Supply. It's been fun. It's been fun talking football of a lot of varieties tonight with coaches, with you, Coach Jason Kilday, joining us in studio. Had Quincy Notre Dame linebacker Tayen Scott join us on the United Systems hotline. Been a great night. We got more to get to, though. We've got the Starry Star of the night coming up, brought to you by Refreshment Services Pepsi. But first, we want to run through the Week 3 scoreboard presented by Schottenkirk Toyota one more time. Quincy High School in Western Big 6 opener at Flynn Stadium with a 48-7 victory over Rock Island. Quincy Notre Dame 43-0 over Springfield Southeast in the Central State 8 conference opener for the Raiders. Now, think about this. The Raiders won their conference opener when they joined the Mid-State 6. They won their conference opener when they joined the Big 12 during that spring 2021 season. Now they've won their conference opener in the Central State 8. Pretty good way to introduce themselves to a new conference over and over and over again. Troy Buchanan with a 35-29 victory over Hannibal. Camp Point Central 41-0 over Beardstown. Brown County beats Unity Payson 32-0. South Shelby over Monroe City 44-22. Back on the Illinois side, Macomb beats Illini West 21-6. Elmwood Brimfield 57-20 over West Hancock. Stanford Olympia 43-34 over Pittsfield. Greenfield Northwestern 32-0 over Pleasant Hill. In the Clarence Cannon Conference tonight, Palmyra beats Macon 56-14. Brookfield beats Highlands 62-0. And Winfield knocks off Mark Twain 25-6. There's your Week 3 scoreboard presented by Schottenkirk Toyota. Some really good games tonight, some really good individual efforts. If you look at some of the numbers put up throughout our area, man, a lot of fantastic performances on both sides of the football. But interestingly enough, our Starry Star of the Night's going to go to a guy on special teams. Now, we could have gone Braden Little, Quincy High School quarterback, throws for over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. I hate to say it, but it's almost like he does that on a weekly basis because he does. Kind of scary to think about that. You had, some really good performances by South Shelby. You could go Chase Mollring. You could go a number of those guys on that offensive line. Quincy Notre Dame, Tayen Scott sets the career tackles record. He had 15 tackles tonight. Now owns the career tackles record. Just a really good effort. But I'm going to go with a sophomore tonight for our Starry Star of the Night. We're going to Mount Sterling, where the Brown County Hornets pick up their first victory of the season, 32-0 over Unity Payson. Now, the Hornets have allowed 16 points this season in 3 games. They got their first shutout tonight, but they held Greenfield Northwestern to 6 points in Week 1, Winchester West Central to 10 points in Week 2. Got a lot of guys playing really well defensively, but the tide turned tonight on the first play of the second half when sophomore Jack Sefton returned the kickoff 80 yards for a touchdown. They led 8-0 at halftime over Unity Payson, doubled the lead. When Sefton returns the kick for the touchdown, they get the 2-point conversion. Tice Fullerton gets a 20-yard touchdown run, and then Vince Little throws a 9-yard touchdown pass to Hunter Law to cap it. Kanye Mitchell with a 2-point conversion run, on that final touchdown. So a lot of guys contributed offensively, but on special teams, the game turned on the first play of the second half. So our Starry Star of the night, brought to you by Refreshment Services Pepsi, goes to Brown County sophomore kick returner Jack Sefton. 80-yard touchdown run as part of Brown County's 32-0 victory over Unity Payson. Pretty cool thing to see a team get its first win and have different guys make plays. Jack Sefton's a guy whose name we hadn't talked about much with Brown County through the preseason in the first couple of weeks. He did have a touchdown against Winchester West Central, a kid with a lot of speed. He's going to make a bunch of big plays for Brown County moving forward. So check that out. That's your scoreboard. That's your Starry Star of the night. We'll have more. You can check it out online. We'll have more on Jack Sefton's effort as the Starry Star of the night, brought to you by Refreshment Services Pepsi. Right now, though, we're going to take another break. We're going to come back. We'll go through the scores one more time, touch on some highlights, and wrap it up for this episode of Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.
As a new hunting season begins, we observe a species most rare, the hunter incompetus. The hunting ritual begins. Already he stakes his claim by bringing a duck call to a deer hunt. Disaster strikes. A devastating blow to a long-suffering species. There may be no helping the hunter incompetus, but for everyone else, no other place has it all like Farm and Home Supply.
Tell my mom to pick me up soon. Hey, grab me one too.
So what separates us most from all the other dealerships? It's the Toyota brand itself.
Once they buy a Toyota, they never buy anything else. Number one vehicle on the market, the best sedan on the market, some of the best reliable trucks on the market. And our main goal here is to try and get our customers the best payment possible.
We know the process and we pass that along to you.
We're simply looking to buy vehicles off the street.
And we want all makes and models of vehicles.
And you don't even have to buy anything in return. We'll just simply purchase it from you.
We can purchase a vehicle in 10 or 15 minutes or less.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good. Let's go. American Family Insurance.
The Smart Start Transfer Career Academy lets you get your associate's degree early, starting in high school.
I graduated my associate's degree on Friday, 2 days before I graduated high school on Sunday.
It allowed me to get way, way ahead.
Having my prerequisites done is going to help me a lot, as I will get to start a year earlier than I would have without it.
It's really easy to make good connections with people that actually care about you. They helped me plan things out in a way that I definitely wouldn't have been able to do on my own. It made it really easy for me.
If you've been in a motor vehicle accident, contact McCleary Law.
There was nowhere to go. We were on the bridge.
All of a sudden, a guy started going over in our lane and hit us head on.
I couldn't even breathe. It was just unbelievable that it even happened.
We needed to get a hold of an attorney, and our first thoughts was to get a hold of Dan McCleary. Everything's pretty easy when you deal with Dan.
He got us way more than we expected to get.
We don't charge anything until we win your case. Call McCleary Law.
Welcome back to Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman. It's been a fun 2 hours. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for making a Friday night as fun as always. This is week 3 of the prep football season. Some great games throughout Northeast Missouri and West Central Illinois. Again, if you were traveling tonight, didn't have the chance to stay up with us, you can always check us out online tomorrow, Saturday, or any day thereafter. All of our shows are archived on our site and on our YouTube channel at Muddy River News, the YouTube channel. So make sure you check them out. We will be posting the links to social media, and you can come back and listen to any of the interviews or all the interviews and get caught up on everything that took place here. You can also go to muddyriversports.com at any time. Later tonight, after I get home, we'll get everything uploaded and updated. We'll have stories from a bunch of different games. We'll have scoreboards up. We'll have photo galleries. We're going to try to run the gamut of making sure we give you the best coverage we can of the prep football scene here in West Central Illinois and Northeast Missouri. With that in mind, let's run down the scoreboard one more time. Week 3 scoreboard presented by Schottenkirk Toyota. Quincy High School opens Western Big 6 Conference play. State-ranked Quincy High School opens Western Big 6 Conference play. 48-7 victory over Rock Island at Flynn Stadium. Quincy Notre Dame also state-ranked. First time ever. I went almost 2 hours and didn't even mention that. That is the first time ever, period, ever, that Quincy High School and Quincy Notre Dame have been state-ranked in their respective classes in the same week. How about that? Quincy's a football town right now, and it's kind of fun to see. Quincy Notre Dame, 43-0 over Springfield Southeast in the Central State 8 Conference opener. Troy Buchanan, 35-29 over Hannibal. Camp Point Central opens WIVC North Division play with a 41-0 victory over Beardstown. Brown County, 32-0 over Unity Payson in WIVC North play. Jack Sefton, 80-yard touchdown kickoff return to open the second half. He is your Starry Star of the night, brought to you by Refreshment Services Pepsi. South Shelby, state-ranked in Missouri, with a 44-22 victory over Monroe City to open Clarence Cannon Conference play. We move on the Week 3 scoreboard presented by Schottenkirk Toyota. Macomb 21-6 over Illini West. Elmwood Brimfield beats West Hancock 57-20. Stanford Olympia 43-34 over Pittsfield. Greenfield Northwestern 32-0 over Pleasant Hill. Palmyra beats Macon 56-14. Brookfield 62-0 over Highland. Winfield 25-6 over Mark Twain. There are your scores from throughout the area. Now again, all this leads into Week 4. We'll be back here next week, 10 to midnight, coming to you live with another episode of Muddy Night Lights. What will we be talking about next week? Funny you should ask. Quincy High School ventures outside of the Gem City for the first time this season, goes to Moline for a big-time showdown. Moline beat Geneseo tonight, 51-21 in its Big 6 Conference opener. So that's going to be a slobber knocker at Browning Field in Moline next week. Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin, yes, the Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin program that has been one of the best in the state, comes to Quincy Notre Dame next Friday night for a Central State 8 Conference matchup. Hannibal still on the road, Week 3 of its road swing. 3 straight road games for the Pirates. They open North Central Missouri Conference play at Fulton. Unity Payson goes to Camp Point Central. And then we got a bunch of teams on the road. Brown County's at Triopia. Illini West is at VIT. West Hancock is at Macomb. Williamsville goes to Pittsfield. Pleasant Hill at Carrollton. On the Missouri side, Highland at Palmyra. Monroe City at Centralia. Clark County at South Shelby. And Van Far at Mark Twain. Van Far team that's pretty darn good. So Mark Twain will have its hands full again next week. Again, a lot of big games next week. Certainly with the 2 Quincy schools taking on some really big-time opponents. And then some teams looking to bounce back. Teams looking to find their footing still. You know, Unity Payson's 0-3. Can it make a run starting next week? How will Camp Point Central continue to build? Can Brown County go to Triopia and carry over from its first victory of the season? So again, a lot to talk about. We'll have updates next week. You can check out the Game Night Guide every Friday on muddyriversports.com. We'll have little updates, some did you knows about every matchup going on. We'll also have the links to the live streams or the radio calls, the YouTube channels. Wherever you can find a game in our area, our goal is to let you know where that is and how to get there. So you can make sure you check out the Game Night Guide every Friday morning at muddyriversports.com. Again, I want to thank all the coaches who joined us tonight. Tom Little, Brown County coach, Tanner Horrell, the Macomb coach, Palmyra's Dalton Hill, all joining us on the United Systems hotline. Quincy Notre Dame linebacker Tayen Scott also joining us on the hotline. We had in studio Quincy University coach Jason Kilday and Quincy High School defensive coordinator Eric Gower. Really appreciate those guys taking time to jump in and join us here in the Refreshment Services Pepsi studio. It's been a blast for the last 2 hours. Now it's time to put everything together on the website so you guys can get up on Saturday morning and read all about everything we just talked about for the last 2 hours and more, because we'll have more stats, more scores, more updates on our website. So thank you for joining us for week 3. Look forward to being here for week 4. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. This has been Muddy Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply.